Hi, I'm Jeff Smank. I'm an agronomist in south central Alaska, and I think I have the northernmost Oggun on the continent. I'd like to show you a few of the reasons why I chose the Oggun over many of the other tractors that I considered. Unfortunately, with this wind, I think I'm going to have to do this as a voiceover. I believe the Oggun is the modern-day version of the 1950s-era Alice Chalmers Model G. Essentially, its mother is an Alice G and its father is a zero-turn lawnmower. It has the shape and maneuverability of the old G with the modern engine and hydraulic system of a zero-turn mower. Maybe you can think of it as a double G, twice the size, twice the power, and twice the price. Here are my unique reasons for choosing the Oggun. Most of the parts are readily available from my local auto parts store, hydraulic repair shop, and the Honda dealership for engine parts. In Alaska, parts availability is a major consideration, so the ability to use off-the-shelf parts is a great feature to get me up and running quickly when something breaks. It's pretty cost-effective for what it is. The tractor with PTO option was about $14,000, and the shipping from Alabama to Anchorage was an additional $2,600. The most cost-effective shipping I found was to have the factory set the wheel spacing up to match a Volkswagen Beetle and have a car-hauling contractor bring the machine to Anchorage. For all of you saying, I could buy twice that machine for half the price, my response is, not in Alaska you won't. It has a standard 6-spline PTO so I can use any appropriately sized implement without modification. This machine is essentially an erector set for Aggies. There's plenty of stout steel to weld onto and to drill holes into. I drilled a series of half-inch holes in the front frame members to mount things to. I'm able to email the company and bounce my ideas off of them, and they'll give me their opinion of my ideas. A bonus is that the collectors won't scream at me for desecrating an antique tractor. At less than 1,800 pounds, towing this tractor only reduces my truck's fuel mileage by 3 miles per gallon. It's a 20-horsepower tractor, and almost all of its weight is over the rear wheels, so it uses its power very effectively. I'm very intrigued with the Kleber business model. They encourage the Oggun community to develop the machine and share their results with each other. The Alice G it's based on has been off patent for decades, and Kleber hasn't patented the innovations that they've incorporated. This summer, I bought a Bush Hog to bid on a contract. In consulting with Kleber, we decided that the 4-foot model was probably a better match to the tractor for my purposes than the 5-foot model. Here's the machine on its test run, holding its own in axle-high bird vetch and quackgrass. Here's the industrial site I bought it for. The 3/4-inch thick flat bar in the front of the tractor pushes the trees over and lines them up for the Bush Hog to eat. One of my winter projects will be to mount a skid plate on the underside of the tractor to protect the hydraulic components from the trees. The other part of the site was pretty ugly with debris. Here the incredible visibility of the Oggun let me see exactly what was going into the Bush Hog and raise the implement over the lumpy stuff. My next project was to fabricate a toolbar for the underbelly 3-point hitch. One of the main reasons I chose the Oggun is because it's a precision cultivating tractor. I used the tractor's drawbar as a template for how wide to mount the lift pins, and I made a set of cross chains from materials at the local hardware store mounted into a couple of the holes that I had drilled into the frame. We tested it out at the client's potato field. This is their guy's first time driving a tractor, and he's doing pretty good. This is the first time this area of the field has been farmed in decades, so the soil is still quite lumpy. Here we're comparing the Oggun with hilling discs to the hills made with a rotary plow and a BCS walking tractor. Afterwards, I trailered the tractor to my seed potato patch, and it made short work of hilling an acre. After hilling, I swapped the discs out for spider gangs to get the areas between rows. I did the operations as two separate tasks because hilling works better with slow control, while the spider gangs work better at high speeds. I've designed a sprayer for this machine which has allowed me to bid on some convoluted sites. Any sprayer can do a hayfield, but it's the incredible maneuverability of the Oggun that gives me an advantage on these industrial sites. Anticipating some questions, here's the setup I use for boomless spraying. The gray levers control where the spray is sent, and I use the PTO lever to turn the pump on and off. Hit the lever, and the PTO starts the pump. The lines under the tractor are simply zip-tied in place. The white PVC union handles the low-pressure supply to the pump, and the black cam fittings handle the pressure from the pump. A throttling valve gives coarse control over the pressure, with the green hose sending the excess back to the tank. On the other end of the control bar, the chrome pressure regulator provides fine control of the pressure and also sends its excess back to the tank. From the boom control lever, the line goes back to the boomless nozzle mounted on the rear fender. I've had good luck with the Boominator brand nozzle. For now, the tank rests on a couple of 2x4s mounted to the tractor's attachment points. Here are the sprayer components off the tractor. And here they're labeled. Here's a diagram of the overall setup. Boomless nozzles are good for obstructed areas. They aren't as precise as conventional nozzles on a boom. I've also fabricated a 30-foot boom, so that's why there are 3 boom control levers, left, center, and right sections. A 1/2-inch quick attach will let me easily switch between the line for the right boom nozzles and the line for the boomless nozzle. This fall, I bought a single-row potato digger at an auction. As you can see, The massive hills that the rotary plow made are a bit much for the digger. So, I hooked up the underbelly cultivator and mounted the hilling discs backwards to shave off the hills. As long as I didn't see sliced potatoes, I knew I was fine. With these now smaller hills, the Oggun is able to run the digger properly. It's a decent crop of daisy gold for being planted so late. Unfortunately, as soon as the digging gets tough, the Oggun is not able to pull the digger forward. The wheels aren't slipping, they're just not getting enough oil to drive forward, so I end up having to jerk the digger into the hill rather than the slow, steady pace. This jerking action causes the soil to come across the chain as a great big clump rather than a smooth stream of soil that gets shaken through the chain. So, for next season I'm going to make smaller hills, possibly use a bigger tractor, modify the cutting blade to be more of a scoop, put coulters on the side, and I may consider mounting an auxiliary engine on the digger to take the PTO demand off the tractor. In good digging conditions, with the engine wide open, generating top hydraulic flow, the Oggun is able to make decent progress. But when the digging gets tough, the Oggun is just a little undersized for this digger. So here's my current fabrication project. I'm mounting a Gandhi research model air seeder on the Oggun for the major cover crop trial we've got planned next summer. From the seat of the tractor, I'll be able to monitor that the seed is coming out properly as I put in the plots. If it works, I'll try to make a video of the unit in operation. My next challenge will be to accurately monitor my forward speed for spraying and for the air seeder. I think it can be done using a bicycle computer since you can program in the size of the wheels. If anyone has some ideas on accurately measuring tractor speed, please pass them on in the comments section. Overall, the more I work with this tractor, the more I come up with ideas to modify the machine and add more functions to it. This allows me to make equipment that no one else has, which in turn gives me an advantage in bidding on unique projects. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to your suggestions and hearing how you're using your tractor.